both of you on Divorce Bait because the movie has done great. Like, what has that been like building up to the release and having it out?
Well, being the one that carries the film, it just feels incredible that so many people recognize my acting ability.
I agree. Well, you are the leading man in the film. It's okay. I
Ah,
had to come up and pick up the pieces that you fell apart in, but other than that, yeah, no, you did great.
To be quite honest, it is an ensemble piece that's incredible. Everyone comes through
Yeah, they do.
in every part. Hold on, I gotta look at you know everyone from the pool party scene, Alyssa LeBlanc, to
Hmm.
Joe Nunez, Greg Roman, my buddies, you, um, help me out.
Well, there's so many people.
So
Well, there's so
they
many,
all hit the
so
mark.
many little, like, so many intricate characters that actually, that in other films, not necessarily, not that you don't notice them, but there's, some, it just depends on the type of genre of film that it is. But since it isn't led by Vanessa and Justin, the thing is, this is like the ensemble actually brings this movie together for what it is. It helps it along the way with the comedy. Everyone hits their freaking punchlines and marks. And I give that up also to, it's a whole team process. I mean, it's editing, it's the writing,
Yes.
it's improv that was, everyone was really good at improvisation, like really good on the moments, just going with it. Because this type of comedy, it's different than a normal romantic comedy too. They raise the ante 10 degrees. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like the raunchiness of this romantic comedy is something that I think is something fresh and it was needed anyway. But no, Justin, you did a great job, dude. You did a great job.
Thank as you as well as you did, Gracie. Did
Yeah.
did you see it?
I did see it.
You did.
Okay, here I'll give an example. Leia Mata, who plays Cherry, my online date,
Oh,
Yeah.
she's
without giving away,
ridiculously funny.
she steals it. So
Yeah.
I've seen this 3 times in the theater, and each time that scene comes on, boom, the laughter.
Yeah.
She steals it. So
Well, she takes it there, man. Because you
yeah,
don't know what you're about to see either.
yeah,
Because you're like, okay, this girl, he's having this on cam session with this girl. You don't know she's about to pop up with two Barbie dolls. I mean,
yeah,
people that haven't seen it yet, hopefully at this point people have seen it. That once they see this, but you don't know what she's about to do with them,
yeah.
or add into that scene. So now let me ask you something, Justin, because I don't remember that part of the script. I mean, I remember the part of the script, but obviously we concentrate on our own selves when we're doing these things. Was that all fully? Did she improv a lot of that, or was that actually she's going into her deep cave when she was saying like,
Oh yeah, we actually did the Zoom call
I don't remember that part.
live.
Saying those, I mean, that was freaking insane.
She was in the closet at the house at Patrick and Christina's house, the writer and director of the movie. She was in their closet. I believe she was getting filmed at the same time I was being filmed.
Oh,
Um,
when you guys shot it? When you guys shot it?
yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. But I don't. As far as it was in the script about the splunking into my
It
deep dark
was.
cave.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
yeah. Christina took it there.
You
Yeah,
guys did fantastic with it. I mean, would you be open to doing another comedy?
Of course, of course. It's so much lighter on the soul. The roles
oh
I
yeah.
play are awful human beings,
Yeah,
and
well,
and you just get tired of like, okay, I gotta kill you,
I know.
and not feel any sorrow for it.
Yeah,
I,
no, you got to leave it there.
yeah,
It's funny.
exactly,
It's funny that you say that.
exactly.
It's funny that you say that because uh, I see my series that I had out for 2 seasons, Purgatory, where I play a really horrible human being, an ex-con murderer, rapist, just delinquent of a human being. And everyone always asks me like, what was it like playing that? Did you have to bring that home with you? And I'm not that type of person. I mean, I'm literally, you see my personality. I'm really like this before I do things like that. Like I'm literally laughing, making jokes, right leading up to the second before. I don't believe in like living in the character like that because I don't think it's good for your brain and your psyche throughout your day. I mean, some people have to go there. I don't think it's healthy. But this is where, yeah, doing a comedy like this is really refreshing. And this is also for me because I'm coming off of a film where I played a complete douchebag.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, no, I know. Which was, like I told you, it was really weird that I was a little worried. I thought people were going to just come after me after it, but they didn't. I really expected it, and I'm grateful that they didn't. But this kind of comedy was a lot of fun. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. And getting stabbed was crazy because that wasn't part of the script at all.
How did that happen? I didn't know that.
That was never in the script, not even close. It was, when I go to kiss her, because Samuel loves to just kiss and just grab and kiss.
Yeah.
She was supposed to take the hot dog and smash it in my face. It was written with, and literally the mayonnaise and mustard and relish, because that's, Samuel thinks he knows all about hot dogs. But yeah, she was just supposed to smash my face. But then Patrick was like, dude, they just did his makeup and all these things. We're going to have to keep redoing it. And he's like, we're going to have to get it in one take. And then I don't remember. I think it was like, I might have been Ruben, dude. Ruben's like, or like collaboratively, they literally were like, is anybody like, she stabbed him with something? Like something holding up her hair. And they're like, I guess, I don't know who had the pencil. But he's like, well, I have a pencil. And she's like, oh, she could wrap her hair. Like she has her hair tied in a pencil. And just her reaction, because she's kind of like, she's a type of chick that would shank you with something. So literally, that was like the first take. And then when she stabbed me, I just automatically did this weird, crazy scream. And then that turned into, because none of that, like, or we're having an orgasm from the pencil thing was even part of it. She started tapping. I was like, oh! And then it literally turned into that. It was not ever even part of the idea of the script.
I mean, that turned out great.
Yeah, no, it was really funny. That people were dying. Like we had to do multiple takes of that because we were laughing so hard that we could not keep a straight face.
Yeah.
Last Friday, we had a private premiere screening of it. And when I was watching Eric's, how he introduces the character, what's the character's name again?
Samuel Gray.
Samuel Gray. When you see him for the first time, because you mentioned he always loves kissing. And when you come on screen, the way you go for Vanessa with the kiss on the forehead, the nose, and then right to it, you then define who he is.
Uh-huh.
He's this douchey guy that just has no boundaries. And I thought that was such a great way to come in on it.
None.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. When we were filming that scene, I remember the first takes of it, I'm not going to lie, were a little rough because there were so many things that were going on in that scene. When we shot the wide initially, everyone was like a little worried at first because we're like, oh, shoot, because we were trying to rehearse it, but it was like too many elements. So I looked at Christina and I was like, I got this. Because the first take was much more composed per se. Yeah. It was more, I didn't come on there. So I literally was like, I got this. And I just was like, can I cuss on here?
Yep, go ahead.
I was like, fuck it. And I literally came on and I just, all of a sudden, and remember, I think I kissed her more times the first time. I kissed her forehead. I did like, mwah, mwah, and then I went through her nose. And they're like, all right, Eric, that's too many kisses. So I was like, all right. So then that's the second take is when I went boom, boom, boom. And she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm married.
So, yeah. And it actually worked perfect and they were right. But yeah, we were worried at first. I'm not going to lie. And I think Christina can confess to this because I remember we all looked at each other going, fuck. Like, this is going to be hard because there were so many elements. The way it's edited, it seemed like it flows, obviously.
Yes.
But when you first come into that scene, there was a lot of elements going on. Because she had to act like she just ate, all those wheat cookies and whatever. So there was just so many things of trying to figure it out. But it came together so perfectly. And I remember when we finally got the scene, we're like, we got it. But dude, it was crazy. Yeah, no, he's a douchebag. He is. But he's like a charming, kind of goofy douchebag.
Yeah.
Like, this shit doesn't stink. Yeah, it's basically what he is. Yeah.
I mean, there's also so many elements to this film, as you said. Like, it's comedy, it's a romance, but there's also that sense of heartfeltness. I'm wondering if you guys could describe this film in 3 words, what would they be?
Oh, man.
Crazy, affectionate, Well, I got more words than three. Gracie. I mean, charming, lovable, uh, deceitful.
Roller coaster, passionate,
Passion's going.
zany.
Okay.
Zany.
Yeah.
Of course.
Gracie, I want to go back to some. It was so funny because Eric, Vanessa, Patrick, and Christina are on a text thread, and we just saw someone review our movie for the first time.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
A younger guy, very sweet to even interview. It's wonderful, right? People are watching it. Thank you. But he said the opposite of you and said they tried to have these serious moments, but those
I was going to
moments
bring that
brought it
up, but I didn't
down.
know if you wanted to. I was going to bring that up. So we saw it today. I just saw it today.
And that's, I mean, everyone is entitled to their opinion. But Gracie, I agree with you, not because I'm in it, because Vanessa and I look like a couple going through our first marital hiccup.
Yeah.
And that it hurts us. And Vanessa does a great job that it hurts us. And then coming back together at the end looks like these two people really want to work this out.
No, I thought the contrast between just the comedy, but also the struggles that you and Vanessa go through are so realistic in a way. And you guys portrayed it not like perfectly, but like as it should be in like real life sense.
Well, I think what you just said was exactly true. And I guess, again, everyone's entitled to their own thoughts. I mean, he loved it. It seemed like he loved the film. He gave it a great review. He really did.
Yeah.
And gave Vanessa and Justin and everyone a great review. That wasn't the issue. When I'm hearing what he was saying about the lacking points of the film, every film is going to have a lacking point. But I feel like the film had to have these moments in order to be successful for the story itself. I mean, if you're going to do a slapstick comedy, which romantic comedies aren't meant to be completely slapstick. You know what I mean? It's not a dark comedy. It's not a slapstick comedy. It's an in-between, but it's also with this romantic, happy ending feel. You have to have that contrast, like you're saying, in order to get there in the end. There has to be these kind of sadder, darker, kind of complex moments, and even to get there. It can't be slapstick the entire time. Because then there was no actual arc to it.
Yeah.
So, but he did review it very well. But yeah, no, I agree with Justin. I was like, but I think he was a little younger though.
Yeah.
And I think this day and age, maybe comedies in some people's eyes are just meant just to be comedy, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a blast making it, man. I want to do a part two. I know that they had mentioned early on that. Possibly, but who knows?
I mean, what would you guys ideally want to see for a part two if it did happen?
Well, I know the idea that was told to me, which I'm not going to say because that's
don't get in trouble.
No, I'm always in trouble. I mean, Samuel Gray isn't me, but maybe a little.
To an extent.
A little bit. I don't know, Justin. What would you say? I mean,
well, because I know the idea that was pitched, and it sounded wonderful and interesting.
It did.
But
so figure out.
It's hard to say something now.
Fair enough.
Because their concept of a two is probably most people couldn't even comprehend.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
it's really clever. It would set a tone for like the.
Like, got one.
You could take this to more than just two. You could take this for like 5 of these.
I got one.
Okay.
This was my idea for Hangover. How many hangovers were there? 3?
3.
For the third one was, I had the best freaking pitch for Hangover, and it was Zach Galifianakis. His role. He goes to rehab, right? He was a screw up.
Yeah.
He is a drug addict, whatever. He goes to rehab and he finds the love of his life. The love of his life, they get together, and now we're going to celebrate his wedding.
Right.
And he plays Zach. Zach has to play absolutely straight, not funny whatsoever. And the audience would be like, oh, man, he was the best part. But he'd be straight, like, guys, no. And they're like, come on, guys, loosen up. No, I can't have alcohol. And they invite friends from rehab, and the wife's rehab friend spikes the punch bowl. And from there,
Oh,
they all wake
that
up
becomes
and
a
they think,
disaster. That's actually hilarious.
yeah. So what I'm trying to say is you would take a Stanley or Bob's role, the two guys that just create absolute mayhem in the movie, and maybe they actually want to come to me for advice, like how do you keep that relationship with Vanessa? I'm really into this girl now, and kind of that would be comedic if they were serious.
That would be really funny, and you go off the deep end. You're just like out of it. Like, listen, man, I'm just living. All right, I'm just living. That's really funny. That's actually a really cool concept, different than the concept that they had brought up.
Yeah.
Either concept, I think, would do well. I mean, I think that the problem is always coming back with a part two, having to live up to part one, because that's the original idea, right? I mean, so trying to kind of compete with your part one is always tough. I mean, you always see it. Part twos, I would say 6 out of 10 times have many more faults, and people are bashing it. It's hard to come back with a part two, but if you can go back with like Hangover franchise was really genius. You know what I mean? So that would be interesting. I hope they do something with this, because the initial response to Divorce Bait was really great from the get go.
Yeah.
And I knew, because I saw it in our early rough cut. And I remember, because I live not too far from Christine and Patrick, and I've known them for many years. And they just said, hey, if you want to check out a couple pieces, come over. And I remember seeing it, and this is before the music was done. This is before like color correction. This is early on, and I was dying laughing.
Okay.
I was dying laughing. Like, I really was like, guys, you have something here. Like, you really do. And I wasn't just saying it because my friends. I'm not just saying because I'm in it either. I was like, usually I'm very straightforward, because if I'm in, whatever I'm in, I want it to be great. I need people to be affected by it. Else there's no point in me doing it. Mm-hmm. So they had something from the get-go. I knew when we were filming it, we had something, actually.
Eric would call me and text me and say, dude, I saw it. Like, I never got to see it
which
like
is,
he did.
I know. And I thought, like, you know what it is that you guys were new in their lives, and they wanted it to be perfect for you guys to see it.
Okay.
I had been through, this is my 6th project with them. So they know, we talk to each other, even on a producer level. So they just wanted my opinion, because they know, I was coming off of doing my movie Starfucker, and, coming kind of from this offensive comedy side, they wanted to know, were they too far with some stuff? And I was like, no, man. Well, for me, I was already like, look, I did this movie here is insane. So for me, this is like, you can't basically just kid walk, but it's pretty raunchy, man. You guys see some shit in this movie.
Gracie, in the industry, it's difficult when you have a friend who's also an actor and they do see it and they're like, dude, it's great. Trust me, it's great. And that's what Eric said. And he said it to me, and I'm like, well, and then when I saw it, I'm like, you were right. You don't trust. You never trust, because art is subjective. You don't know, well, what's his taste compared to mine? But he called it the whole time. He goes, don't worry, you're going to like it.
Yeah, no, I knew. I would never, because I want all of us to do well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if I do well, they do well. They do well, I do well. Yeah. We want to promote together. And that was the whole buildup for this movie, because we found out kind of last second about when it was coming out, to be honest with you. That's just what had happened. So I was like, shoot, we got to run with this as fast as we can and get PR on this as fast as we can, because you don't want to lose this opportunity of taking, you're doing a smaller independent film that happens to catch wind. You don't want to lose those opportunities, because these are how things start. You know what I mean? Yeah. So no, I knew. I told him, I said, don't worry, I promise you. Because me telling you that it's good and it lacking thereof, and it doesn't do any of us any justice. Because Vanessa Vanessa wanted to know too. I'm like, trust me. She's like, I'll believe it when I see it. And I'm like, trust me. I was like, look, I was laughing my ass off. The shit's because when you see it for the first time, stuff comes out of left field. You're not expecting the way they really, put this together. It's not a typical comedy.
Yeah.
A lot of setups in other films are different. Like, what you're kind of about to see. This kind of leads you on in a way, and then you're like, what? So that, I think, is what the response we're getting from people, and we're really happy about that.
Yeah. And I mean, Justin, what was it like telling Eric he was right?
Oh, awful. But that's something I would like to tell him, because it has to do has to do with us.
Yeah.
Because it has to do with our success.
Yeah. You know, he's probably very happy that I was right.
Yeah. Yeah, Eric and I never really got. Here's a funny story of how I was introduced to Eric is our table read on Zoom.
Yeah.
So we had a table read, and personally, I'm one of those people that did not act out my part. I know, I guess some directors kind of want to hear it and see it. I'm like, I'm kind of reading it for the first time with you guys. So, and I'm not going to perform. We're on Zoom. Maybe if we're live, Eric is sitting down, standing up. I'm like, this guy's what a fucking show off, doing all this shit. He's like, he's got it all. Yeah, okay. Hey. I'm like, and I never got to see him or talk to him until the cast party.
Okay.
That's when we first met each other in person.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
And it's perfect.
So basically, you thought I was a douchebag the entire time.
Yes.
You know what's funny is that I don't normally do that for a table read. I'm actually more cordial, and I even tell people like I'm like, all right, we'll go through it. You know, I'm looking at it for the first time too. I kind of knew I didn't know the lines at all because I had seen it, but I don't read. I'm also very weird. I barely read my scripts. I know it seems crazy, and I don't mean to say that in any arrogant way. I don't like to get too married to them because I've learned over years, fucking everything changes. Everything changes. I've had to learn that. And I was on a soap for 3 years, and let me tell you something. We would have to memorize every freaking word, letter. You say it wrong, they're mad at you. You can get fired. So for the longest time, I'm like, oh, I gotta stick to the script. I gotta stick. Like, it's scared to mess up because you can't mess up on a soap. They literally will be like, get out of here. It's very scary. But since I ventured from that world, and I'm great. I'm glad I got a chance to do it. But I like to be able to play around and live real life. I don't usually do that. I think with this character, and I also was wondering about you too, Justin, at first, because I was like seeing this guy. Oh, he just thinks that he's just gonna read the fucking script. He's just gonna read it. Yeah. I'm like, is this guy an asshole?
And that's what I did. I just read it. Because that's what we were told to do.
No, I know. He's very by the book. Justin's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's actually very nice. He won't cuss too much. Cussing in the movie, you did say one cuss word, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's
like, yes, I did.
But that's not him. He's not a cusser.
Okay. I actually am when I'm day trading.
Yeah,
come on, you motherfucking stuck. Get up there.
Yeah. But like a normal conversation, I mean, I would just literally say, "Oh, this fucking drink is great." Like this drink is great.
Delightful tea.
Exactly. But he's a warrior, so there you go.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, this obviously is a great release, but do you guys have any future projects that you can hint at or talk about?
Yeah, I have 3 Lifetime movies coming out probably next year. I only know the title of one called Secrets in the Building. The other 2, the titles change all the time for Lifetime, but 3 will come out next year.
Okay.
Justin's done like 57 Lifetime movies in the past 3 months. Knocking these things out. This guy shoots these 7-day shoot time frames. This guy's killing it. Oh God, Secrets in the Building. I like that one. No, but you were great in them. You're the best part of them, just so you know.
Thank you. That's what my family says.
I'm being honest, because I believe when you're talking on there. I actually believe it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a huge compliment coming from an actor.
Listen, it's the truth. I mean, listen, I've done some Lifetime movies, and it's tough sometimes. And this guy, if I believe you, I'm going to tell you the truth. I would never say it if I didn't believe you.
Thank you.
Well, congrats to that. Yes, I just got greenlit on a project I'm producing and starring in called A Beating Heart. I cast Sybil Shepherd opposite to myself. I've done a movie with her a few years back called Being Rose. I cast Vanessa actually as my wife opposite to me. So this will be our second time working together. An entirely different genre of film. It's a psychological thriller horror.
Okay.
I said horror. And then we have Billy Slaughter that we just brought on. An actress named Alex Scotland has just came on, and that there's very few roles. We're going after a few people to play opposite the Sybil. Really excited about this. This is something I'm one of the main producers and starring in. I have a movie coming out called Zero Road, No Tears in Hell. Very gory, true story about the Siberian cannibal.
Okay.
This guy who, yes, that ate humans. Um, that's coming out. I have a Christmas movie that's been delayed for 2 years called Love is in Bel Air. I'm starting a movie called Autumn's Rotten. Really gory film as well. And I think there's something else. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, that's what, yeah, that's geared to come out this year. And a couple other projects we're producing. We're waiting on some funding for. But that's what's going on right now. I'm just going to freeze my ass off in Poland for about a month before I come back to LA and enjoy it. Eat a lot of food because they feed me nonstop here.
Okay.
They do. It's so funny because my fiance and her mom are right here. No, it's so funny. If you could see the setup right now, it's probably entirely different than you're picturing.
Yeah.
It's really funny. And the Christmas tree is right here.
Well, at least you have a Christmas tree.
Well, we haven't put the ornaments on it yet, but we're going to.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, guys. Congratulations on everything. It was so great talking to you, and hopefully we can talk
Gracie.
again.
Thank you, Gracie. This was fun. Justin, this was cool. This is what
I like this.